Fleet Mobility Today, or FMT, is all about driving insights and connecting the Americas. A leading voice in corporate fleet and mobility insights in the region. With dedicated coverage in both North and South America, the FMT network focuses on the main markets of the United States, Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, Chile, and, well, many more. FMT provides corporate fleet managers and transportation experts with the latest developments through news articles, informative video podcasts, educational courses, and corporate events. A communication platform that connects with a diverse audience by producing content in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Your premier source for fleet and mobility intelligence in the Americas. FleetMobilityToday.com.
Hello, fellow fleet and mobility players. I'm Daniel Bland, and this is the 27th edition of Fleet Mobility Today's Expert Talks podcast. Today, we're joined by Jonathan Cammons, a respected leader in fleet and mobility management, and the newly appointed FMMC lead for North America, being the English language chapter of our Fleet and Mobility Managers Club. So Jonathan, he's known for transforming data into action, connecting insights, benchmarking performance, and building solutions that drive real operational results. His leadership style blends strategic communication, cross-functional collaboration, and a strong focus on developing people, processes, and programs. With deep experience in driver safety, supplier management, compliance, shared services, and also large-scale program development, Jonathan brings a unique perspective on how organizations can mature and adapt in a fast-changing mobility landscape. So let's welcome him. So hello, Jonathan. How's it going?
Hello, Daniel. I'm good. How about you?
Good. Just keeping busy over here. And so right now you are. Can you tell me just briefly about your what you're doing nowadays?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have responsibility. I'm the director of fleet and safety for a company called Crete United, which is a mechanical engineering and plumbing organization. So effectively standing up their fleet and risk operations.
Yeah. Seems like every time I'm trying to call Jonathan, he's quite to get busy. He's got a lot of stuff going on there. So Jonathan, let's just start with the first question. I guess you built a career, of course, around turning data-driven insights into practical business-ready solutions. But looking back, because I know you've worked for a couple other companies, of course, in the past. Looking back, what project or decision most shaped your approach to leadership and fleet strategy?
It's an interesting question. That in thinking about it, I don't know if it's necessarily a project or decision as much as it is the ability and the opportunity I've had for career pivots. So I've had the opportunity to be a part of some really unique organizations, whether national or global or local organizations, and different leadership structures. But I think being able to do that, right, and to effectively meet people where they are and start understanding, asking questions about the things that are important to them, right? How do they drive operations? What goals are they driving towards? What initiatives are they held accountable for? And then being able to tie those fleet, opportunities to the things that they're driving, right? It's never a good idea to just jump in with 2 feet and say that you know everything, because the reality is, depending on the organization, you probably don't. So to take that time and understand the things that the organization finds incredibly important, and then tying fleet back to those models is probably the biggest differentiator for me in my career.
Yeah. So I've done a lot of things in my life and always learning new things. Yeah, I know a lot of stuff, but I still got a lot more to learn. So and speaking of what's happening around the world, a lot of things are changing, especially in our world in fleet and mobility. It's a lot of new stuff. So from safety and compliance to supplier relationships and shared services. So fleet and mobility programs are evolving quickly. In your view, what is the most urgent challenge, I guess, organizations face today and where do you see the biggest opportunity for improvement?
Yeah, and it's interesting how you pose the question. So all of the changes, right, are followed by some sort of action, right? Historically, we've kind of used a fairly simplistic model of data integration to get to results, right? You manage through exception reporting, all of those good things. But I think in the complexity that exists today, we don't do a very good job of connecting disparate data sources, right? So where we leverage a fleet management company for a lot of their connections and opportunities, we've had to go out on our own and look at other technologies and find other ways to drive values for the organizations. But that data doesn't sit in a centralized system somewhere, right? And then we think about all of now the disparate data that we have and all of the large data that comes into an organization. What do you do with it, right? And managing from exception reports, now that there's 50 exception reports to manage through, the reality is we need to start looking for ways to action through the data. So not necessarily highlighting an exception report that somebody has to manage, but start working on the workflows associated with those, right? If it's a repair versus replace decision, if it's a capital investment decision, if it's a whether we go BEV or hydrogen decision, all of that information sits within the data, and it's being able to connect it through to action that I think we're missing.
Yeah. So, from what I know about you, you know, you're known for like maybe influencing across teams and hierarchies without relying on formal authority. And how has that skill helped you drive change in complex organizations?
Yeah, it's funny. Fleet generally doesn't consist of a ton of people inside of an organization. It's generally one or two folks, and we don't necessarily have leadership capability per se. But the reality is we are subject matter experts in what we do. And if you think about all of the interconnectedness in the organization, whether it's through, human resources or legal or environmental health and safety, all those interdependencies, I think it's the culture and the microcultures that exist within organizations that allow us to go out and start to understand people, to build relationships and better understand, again, much like getting out into operations, but understanding the connectedness or connectivity where fleet allows the organization to grow and improve, right? It's those relationships, whether they're internal or external or suppliers, that allow us to, one, show that folks can trust us, and two, turn around and give credit to the folks that gave us the information, right? Fleet shouldn't be a place from a leadership perspective where we just consume all the credit. The reality is it's all the folks, the interconnectedness that allows us to better understand the organization, make the connections, drive the value, and then give that credit back to the organization.
Yeah. So it's not only about whatever vehicles and cars and stuff like that. You deal with humans and people, so you got to know how to organize this and deal with people a lot in your business. Yeah.
And there's a lot of passion in fleet. It's the one thing you'll know. People who work inside a fleet have one passion. People who get in and out of assets or vehicles every single day have a very different passion for what that vehicle is. And it's important that we understand the balance between the both, right? It's a productivity tool, yes. It's a way to safely perform the business on behalf of our customers, yes. But it's also that mobile office and work platform for a lot of individuals in the organization who do very different roles, right? So it's important that we make those connections and understand the value of each of those. And I'd say from a skill perspective, we're pretty good at what we do.
Yeah. And so speaking of people, so we brought together the FMMC. So I have or us at Fleet Mobility Today, we have the group in south of the border in Latin America in Spanish, and also in Portuguese in Brazil, but trying to bring the Americas together and learn from each other. And so you're the leader of the FMMC in North America. It's our English language one. And what goals are you setting for the community, and how do you hope to support fleet and mobility leaders throughout the Americas, like our group here, but also even around the world?
I appreciate it. Super excited about the opportunity. I would tell you that what gets me excited is really, and I talk about it pretty frequently, the chaos that exists in fleet, right? I often refer to as chasing the pendulum, right? We're really good at reacting, to our credit, reacting to the things that occur, and really chasing both ends of the pendulum swing. For me, for this group, I want us to be thought leaders, and I want us to think beyond kind of the immediate need to make a change and start identifying where sitting in the middle of that pendulum swing is really the best place for us to be, because it's thoughtful. We've created solutions or potential solutions that allow us to be not reactive but proactive, to supporting our businesses, right? And to have some of the answers ahead of time. Often, we're the recipient, whether it's environmental health and safety or operations, of, hey, fuel prices just increased. We need to do something different, right? We need to thwart this. And the reality is, if we put a plan in place and we communicate the plan and we work with the organization and they understand the plan, there won't be that need to do that. And that's my hope, is to be able to bring that to this team.
We just had a meeting. We were talking about fleet management relationships and stuff like that. So I guess that I like that analogy with the pendulum. So I guess we are going to be pushing the pendulum, I guess, and then instead of like reacting to it and stuff like that. But that's a good analogy. Just, we don't have so much more time, but to end
Sure.
on a lighter note, when you're not thinking about fleet strategy and mobility and innovation, all that kind of stuff, what is something that you enjoy that helps you recharge? I'm not talking about EV recharging, just recharge. You know what I mean?
So I'll first tell you, I don't not think about fleet often. So it's typically first of mind in almost everything I do, even when I'm sleeping. It's what it is. But for me, so I'm a U.S. Navy veteran. I will tell you that salt air and salt water is my energizer. It's really what energizes me. But I don't get there enough. So I'm out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and while I'm close to a beach, I'm not close enough to get there every weekend. So things like getting out into nature and hiking is really important to me. I ride motorcycle. Unfortunately, not a lot of people do anymore, but love to get out and just let the brain go and enjoy that. And I have a pretty large vegetable garden, so where I can't disappear, I can go out for an hour or two and work at the garden. Collectively, all those things allow me to get closer to my family. So whether it's my 4 daughters and my grandkids, they all like a piece or part to that, so I get to connect that with them.
So of course, family is nice to be close to, and I know Jonathan, but there's some things I don't know everything about him, and so he was in the Navy. I was in the Army, and so we learned probably some discipline and teamwork, working with the military. And I grew up in Hawaii, so I like the water a lot too. So I like to be around the water, and so that's good to know that what you do in your free time there, Jonathan. A lot of plants. Okay, yeah, plants is nice too. So I don't just want to say welcome to the FMMC, and everyone. So we're going to be having some meetings, about 3 or 4 meetings throughout the year, and Jonathan's going to be leading the English group. So he has a lot of experience. So I'm really looking forward to having more meetings with him and the people that are going to join us. And so in our conversation, so Jonathan, he offered us some thoughtful look at how data collaboration and leadership shape the future of fleet and mobility management, of course. And I feel that his insight highlights the importance of cross-functional teamwork, also strong supplier relationships, that's important, and programs that balance operational needs with long-term strategy, of course. And as a new FFMC chapter lead, Jonathan, of course, is going to bring some clear vision, like I said, for us in the group, and to strengthen global connections and supporting professionals across our industry. So thanks again, Jonathan, for your time.
Sounds good, and I appreciate the invite. It was great to have this conversation with you.
Okay, you too. And thanks you, FMT Insiders, for watching, of course, and we'll keep you updated. Okay, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Take care.